It has. How do you follow Steve White and Steve White's cell phone number?
I don't know. You can give out yours if you want. Downtown Indiana, folks want to know about the bid. Let's start right there, the Business Improvement District.
The Business Improvement District, we always talk about what's happening and what's going on. Well, that's what's happening and that's what's going on. As of today, the plan is ready to go out. It'll be going out today. So what will happen is the proposed plan will be mailed to all of the parcel owners within the proposed new bid district. So that'll be within the next 24 hours. They'll start to receive those. It'll also be up on our website. Now, the idea is when you get that plan, you've got 30 days to inspect it, write down your questions, get all your thoughts together, as we've been doing all along through this whole process. We will then hold a public hearing on July 11th at 6 p.m. at the Borough Councils, which will be an open forum. Say, hey, what about this? How about that? How can we make this the best possible plan? At that point, there's then a 45-day voting period. So that's when it gets down to all the questions are over. You have 45 days. This is parcel owners. But for business owners, we also want the business owners' input, the individuals' input. We've done this, through the entire process. So after that 45 days, the vote will be cast, and then it will go to council in the hopes of being approved, and for us to continue doing a lot of the things. We talk about on the show a lot, Todd, what's going on in downtown. We talk about all this stuff that's going on in downtown. Yesterday on my way in, you and Jack did a very colorful play-by-play of the flower plantings.
Wasn't it good?
It was. I tell you what, it was riveting.
you were on the edge of your car seat, weren't you?
They wanted me to go out and buy flowers. But all kidding aside, that's what your bid money goes towards. The bid money, people say, why would I pay into this bid? Those flowers are part of the bid. The standards on Philadelphia Street, that's part of the bid. We spent $14 million to make the street look to what it is. Well, how are we going to maintain that? It's when you get that brand new car. If you don't take care of it, the resale is worthless. We want to keep the downtown resale up to a point that's better than our surrounding small towns such as ours, or even some of the larger towns. And that, what's in it for everyone? That brings in business. That brings in, people. That brings in people that want to shop, people that want to hang out. We'll start very soon, every Sunday, every Tuesday, every Thursday for the next month, bringing in the average, about 100 people that are IUP students' parents.
That's the Welcome Mat.
The Welcome Mat program. That's where some of your bid money goes, so that we can organize these sort of things. People say, well, how do we? We're putting in the flowers now without a bid. Well, that was money that was budgeted, and we protected to make sure that this happened. We can only do so much as an organization, and we contract stuff out. Snow removal. To get the snow removal that we had last year prior to the expiration of the bid, that all costs money. So you ask, what's in it for me if I pay into the bid? It's those improvements and maintenance pieces that will continue to be funded.
So the bid package that goes out today comes after a series of meetings and forums in which people give you their thoughts about the previous bid and how it could be improved.
Correct.
You've come up with a new bid based upon some of those recommendations.
Based upon almost all of those recommendations. Okay. Other than the really crazy ones that someone said, you should call it the Todd Marino bid. Well, we don't know if we want to call it the Todd Marino bid.
I don't think you should do that.
Right. But those kind of ideas, we kind of put those in, that parking lot section. But the ones that made a lot of sense, one of the things that we heard, and I've talked about this before, is we heard parcel owners say, we want a parcel owner advisory board. So downtown Indiana will put together a parcel owner advisory board that will sit, a position on our board as a representation, along with a larger advisory board that will help with the bid. So as things go along, we can review continually. One of the other things that we wanted to add, we talked about quarterly membership meetings, where it's just so important. I've said this, from day one, keeping that open communication. Someone comes up to me and says, my plaque on Philadelphia Street's been destroyed. Fine, thanks for letting me know that. We'll have it replaced. That's communication. Not coming forward and saying, here's the improvements we want to see. And I'll tell you what, since I've been here, I know I joke a good bit, but 90% of the suggestions that have come from, I'd say even higher than 95% of suggestions that have come from parcel owners are reasonable. They make sense. We're working with the borough, with the trees, with the tree beds. all of those, no one came up with crazy ideas. So that's what we're there for. Those are some of the additions. Advisory board, quarterly meetings, just trying to keep that communication open.
So to be clear, parcel owners are the ones who will make the ultimate vote,
They
not
will
necessarily the business owner.
That is correct.
The parcel owner, and then, of course, they'll pass that cost along to their business owner as a rental.
Right, or on their own. But it's that, working together, that if I'm a parcel owner and I'm renting to, WCCS or whatever, we've got to keep WCCS happy too. We've got to make sure that places that don't own their businesses are still seeing the traffic, or seeing the events, or seeing the quality events we do. So it's a working together that if I rent, I'm going to my landlord and saying, hey, listen, my plumbing doesn't work, fix that. So it's the parcel owners ultimately vote, but we want the input also on both sides from the business owners.
And what is the percentage of businesses or parcel owners who must vote in favor of the bid in order to enact it?
We need to see a 60% by legislation. We need a 60% yes vote for the borough council to vote. If it doesn't get a 60% yes vote, it doesn't even go to borough council. Mm-hmm. So we need 60% of the parcel owners, which is about 151 parcel owners, to say yes, this is a great idea. I mean, we're at the point, I think, we're no longer going for good or mediocre. We're trying to hit great. I'd love to see, 80%. We'd love to see an 80% rate to say, hey, we want to see this happen.
All right. He's Dave Janusek, downtown Indiana. The bids go out today, the bid packages, and business parcel owners should be getting those in their mail very, very shortly. What else going on, Dave?
What else going on? I'm going to be real quick because I know I ran over last time, so I'm going to give you a couple minutes back. And again, this is a lot of what your bid money goes to. And we just had worked with the Arts Council for the Delaney Chevrolet West Sylvania Jazz and Blues. Great event, brought people downtown. As I mentioned, starting Sunday until the 29th, the IUP Project Welcome Mat. That's us, that's IUP, that's the Chamber and the Visitors Bureau. This came out of the IACT sessions that we had, to said, look, let's welcome people into the downtown. Let's do that town and gown and make it work. Coming after that, we have the July 16th, the Downtown Car Cruise. This year it's going to benefit the VFW. Being put on by RWB, Paul Weston, Jerry B., great bunch of guys. I know last year we had 300 cars on Philadelphia Street.
Yeah.
They're hoping to max that out. July 20th, very popular event, the First Commonwealth Bank Taste and Tour. Come down, taste of the wonderful restaurants that we have here on Philadelphia Street. September 9th and 10th, the Northern Appalachian Folk Festival. Within the next couple of weeks, we'll start to, we're booking our two headliners. So we're getting to the point where we're going to get ready to announce who those headliners for the folk festival. So we've got two of our headliners lined up. We're just going through some contractual agreements. We'll be announcing that very quick. So after that, Oktoberfest, another one that's a big favorite, the S&T Bank Oktoberfest that we'll do in the old borough lot, where we bring in brewers from all over the region, give you a chance to taste some German food and some German brews. Wine Walk, November 3rd. November 17th, we kick off again, believe it or not, the It's a Wonderful Life with the big parade. November 18th through the 23rd, the First Commonwealth Bank It's a Wonderful Life Festival. Then we do the Small Business Saturday. Somewhere in there, we'll throw in a Kauaian's holiday parade for Halloween. Also, one other thing that I want to talk about, this is kind of really cool, and I don't want to get too much into it, but we partnered with Department of Health, IUP, and the borough to do the Walkworks program.
Yeah.
So then on June 21st at 6 o'clock, right now it still goes on every Wednesday at 6 o'clock. You can join a group down in front of the old borough building. But on June 21st, we will kick off what will be deemed the Adventure Learning Geocaching Overlay.
Wow.
Yeah, so
that's the T-shirt's going to have to be extra large just to fit all those words on it.
But the interesting thing is we worked with IUP Sociology, where in our 2-mile walk that's in the downtown and through the borough, there may be 25, 26 historic places you can stop. Mm-hmm. What the sociology department has done is they've done these geocaching overlays, where there'll be an app for a phone, and there'll be 7 different places where when you go to these places, you can punch into the app, and you'll hear an oral history about Indiana, given by someone who lived the oral history. Here's an attraction. One of them, the Vinegar Hill spot, the oral history will be given by Mayor Hood. So he'll tell, what it was like growing up and why it's called Vinegar Hill. So this is an interesting thing that we took, the Walkworks, which was to get people healthy, but to bring people downtown. And now we've added the whole geocaching, which we hope will bring people in regionally and throughout the state to want to do their little geocaching. And the bonus is you get this little bit of history about Indiana, and it's an oral history. So that's also coming up. So there's all these things that are coming up, and by the time I get back to my office, there may be 2 or 3 more things on the answering machine that somebody wants to partner to do something in downtown, and we're game for that.
I like how he said real quick, and then he took us through the whole rest of the year.
That's all I got.
That was amazing. Well, no, you've got plenty more to talk about. I did want to ask you this question because we hear about vacancies and opportunities in downtown Indiana. Any news of businesses coming or going or moving or any of those things?
There are 2 exciting things that I can and cannot talk about.
Okay.
Privy to some information of a building down on the 500 block that is in the next couple of weeks. If all goes through with that, kind of an exciting project that'll be started down in that area. And then one closer up to this end, retail opportunity.
Okay.
So, and on that same note, we work with, the CEO and the Chamber of Commerce, and we put together a database of all the available properties within downtown Indiana and the borough with a map that you can just go and click on and see the property. So again, we're out trying to get these vacancies filled. I think what you're seeing right now is a little bit of a transition. In both retail and in manufacturing. I know Jim Struzzi talks a lot about that when he's on the air. So I think we're weathering the transition well. On the good part is all of the realtors that downtown Indiana works with, they assure me not to worry. They're the pros. So whenever a realtor says, hey, you got to start worrying, it's time to start building the arc. So
that's when you start worrying.
That's
they're
when
good
you start
right
worrying.
now.
So all of the the larger realtors we work with say, there's some things percolating. So
Very
I can
good.
tell you 2 of which hopefully within the next 30 days or so we'll start to see some change. And when that happens, we'll let everyone know.
There he is. He's Dave Janusek, downtown Indiana. People want to learn more, they just need to visit your website or Facebook, correct?
Website or Facebook, or stop in.
There you
I
go.
put on a pot of coffee this morning. So
There you go. They're on North 7th Street, right?
yep, that's where we're at. Old Borough Building.
Thank you, David.
Thank you, Todd.
It's Indiana